everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Create. We're working on page 8. Page 8, and this is what the rough layout's going to look like. So we've got a flap on the right side, a flap on the left side, and then we're going to have this overlay between the two. I think this is so pretty. So I'm going to start by doing matting this ephemera or cut apart card. And I've chose the whale, and I've trimmed down my mat to fit this. And basically I trim out my cut apart, measure it, and add an 1/8 inch to height and width, and that's how I come up with this card size. Your card size may vary depending on how you trim out your cut apart. So my recommendation is to come up with this size based on what you actually cut out. Okay, so that's the A side. The B side is just going to be the flip side of this. Oh, I gotta think about that. Let me think about where the magnet is. Okay, the magnet's going to be on the flaps over here. Okay, I'm good. We're not going to put a magnet on this, so we're good. Okay, let's set this aside for now, and then we'll bring in our page. So we're going to start by adding our flaps. Let me set aside my designer paper. And we're going to have two flaps. The first flap is going to get installed on the right-hand side, and it's 4.5 by 8 1/8. 4.5 by 8 1/8. You're going to score a 1/2 inch on the 4.5 inch side. You guys hear Nala? She's talking to me. What is it, baby? We're in the craft room. She's sitting in the sun. She hears me talking, so she just assumes I'm talking to her. Okay, so again, 4.5 by 8 1/8. And as I've mentioned throughout the videos, I made my pocket page 1/8 inch larger than before, so I wouldn't have to trim out my 8 by 8 pad so much. So I'm going back and forth about how I feel about that, but that's what I've done. So for the purpose of this flap and this pocket page, it needs to be 8 1/8. If you decided to go with an 8 by 8 finished pocket, then of course you just knock off the 1/8 inch. Okay, so let's get this installed on the right-hand side. Yes, the right-hand side of page 8. Oh, got like a little bubble in there. There we go. It does have a little bubble in there. What happened? It just didn't lay down straight. Okay, let's try to burnish that into place. There we go. That was weird. So one of the things I'm not liking about this 8 and 1/8 is I keep finding that I've over or under trimmed my paper, so it's bothering me. So you guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments, but I'm just going to hand trim this because it's hanging off about a 1/16 of an inch, and I can't stand that. There we go. There we go. Okay, now, so that should have been much easier, but it's in. This is going to go on the left-hand side, and the way I installed this on page 1 is I came down 3/4 of an inch, and I think I'll do the same thing. So I'm going to use my grid here. And I'm going to come down 3/4 of an inch, and we're going to install it right there. Okay, now we need to get some magnets on here. So I'm going to apply a magnet here, and then it's actually going to get closed inside, but I'll show you what I mean in a second. So I'll go ahead and take this one in place. This is going to be a solid panel here, so I don't have to worry about trying to hide my magnet behind some color blocking. And I just did this and I realized that's not really what I want. So I'm gonna take the top one off. I really want that magnet on the inside. When I can, I like to avoid putting magnets on top. Good grief. Good grief. Okay. There we go. And that is that. So there's our magnet. That's how it's going to close. Okay. This is from the 8x8, I think. I have to look at the patterns to see. No, not sure. I'm not sure. That might be from the 12x12. I have to find one of the pieces that match it to figure it out. 12x12. This is from the 12x12 and it's trimmed down to 8x8. And it is going to go inside like so. And then I've got a couple of choices to make here. Right now I'm planning on this because I like the bold contrast. And then we'll put something a little more muted here. And then this is going to be installed like so. And I really like the contrast between these two. And then right now I have this trimmed out. Nope, I don't. But I have a piece like it somewhere. Here it is. Like so. So that's kind of what my plan is for the moment. So let's go ahead and get this piece in because I definitely like this. Oh, I like that too. I like this better. Okay. Need to trim that down just a little. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lay this in. So one of the things I mentioned in the earlier videos, I really like color blocking. It's one of my favorite things to do. And it's a little bit more difficult to do, I have found, with the Stamperia papers because they're kind of collage-like to start with. It's much easier to put a distinctive pattern against a distinctive pattern. And what I mean by that is, so we've got this pattern and then we could do this. But when you start trying to layer collage on collage, or this busy pattern on top of this, it's a little bit harder to do, as you can see. So that I don't do a lot of color blocking in my Stamperia projects. Sometimes they have patterns that'll work, but other times they don't. Like Grand Hotel was a good collection where it was easy to color block because they had some patterns that looked like stripes. Well, they didn't look like stripes, they were stripes. And in this collection, you don't see anything like that. Everything is very organic in form. So just chatting through that a little bit with you guys, just so it's something to think about as you become more experienced and start to want to design your own albums. There is a certain amount of the album design that is dictated by the paper, in my opinion. If you really want to make the paper stand out. So there you go. That goes like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put this here. Let's see, I think I need to trim it down a little bit. Yep, not a lot, but a little. See how I did? Looks pretty good. Let's get some ink on it and lay it down. Now I'm going to turn this around a couple of times to make sure visually which way I want it to land. If I want it up, I think I kind of like this arc here in that flow, even though it probably, the orientation is probably actually this way. So do we like this? Or this? And I'm liking this, so that's the way I'm gonna go, even though the words are dictating something else. But I think it's a soft enough pattern, so you can see on the back I'm going against the orientation, but I don't think it matters that much for this pattern. And I am using a 12 by 12, which you probably already figured out by the size of the map. Okay, now as I did on page 1, I'm going to install this, and I'm only going to install it on 3 sides so that there's a little tuck spot behind it. So it's going to be like this. So we're just going to go from here to here. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to use my Tim Holtz ruler and just make sure I get it installed straight. And shift it around until I'm happy. That's not right. There we go. Okay, and now behind here is going to be a tuck spot. So we'll put something in there. Okay, our last thing is to cover this. And we'll need to cover this. I just love this pattern, but I don't think I have enough of it. I think I'm going to use this. Yeah, I think that looks nice with this. So we're going to do that. I have a couple other options. I like that too. But then I need to see if I've got something that's 6 by 6 that to cover that size. Yeah, I do. Okay, I'm going to use, this is from the 8 by 8, and this is actually from the 12 by 12, so it was a sliver left over after I had trimmed out an 8 by 8. So this is 8 by 8 pack, this is 12 by 12, and that's what I'm gonna do. Organize my papers again. Okay, so we'll need to trim this down to okay, doesn't that look lovely, ladies, gentlemen, people? Okay, now I told you we have a little insert here. I don't know what I did with it, but I've made, I'm going to use, because I'm using 8 by 8 and 12 by 12, we've got these cut aparts in the smaller version. So I'm going to probably bifold some cards to stick in that little insert, and it's a great little spot to pull out and do a little bit of journaling, okay? Or a little photo in there, or a ticket, or some memorabilia. So that is that, and that is it for page 8, okay? Let's get it all together now and show it to you in the finished form. Okay, so we've got this large cut apart from the 12 by 12 collection pack. We're gonna put a little cut apart from the 8 by 8 in here. And this is a 6 by 6 flap, and that is it for page 8. Okay, I'll be back soon, guys.